Actor Daniel Craig may have made his name in mainstream entertainments like James Bond and the Knives Out whodunits, but no one could accuse him of not taking the work seriously. On the contrary, I've lost count of the number of times I've seen Craig giving his all in a movie and wondered, are you sure you want to do it like that?
I shall never forget that. The unspeakable horror that froze the lymph in my glands. The lymph glands, that is, of course, when that baneful word seared my reeling brain. Homosexual.
Daniel Craig's first big role after seeing off James Bond in the rather misnamed No Time to Die is undoubtedly different. From Italian director Luca Guadagnino comes an adaptation of a novella by American Beat Generation writer William S Burroughs. It's called Queer.
I thought of the painted, simpering female impersonators, I'd seen in a Baltimore nightclub. Could it be that I was one of those?
Neither the title nor the subject matter should come as much of a surprise to anyone remotely familiar with either director or writer. Burroughs, like his contemporaries Jack Kerouac and Allen Ginsberg, wrote what he knew, meaning mostly himself. And Guadagnino dipped into this sort of world, albeit the sunnier side of the street, in his film Call Me By Your Name.
A wise old queen who taught me that I had a duty to live, to conquer hate with knowledge and sincerity and love.
The surprise, of course, is in Daniel Craig's full-blooded performance as a loser. He plays Lee lounging around a Mexican town in the 50s doing not much. He hangs out at a bar called the Ship Ahoy with a bunch of like-minded American men, all looking for pretty much what he's looking for, someone to hook up with.
There's no use fighting it.
The difficulty is to convince someone else he is really part of you.
One night, Lee is strolling down a dusty Mexican street when he pauses to watch people betting on a cockfight, all very 50s noir. And through the crowd, he catches the eye of a dashing young man called Eugene. Who is he? Lee asks around, particularly his friend Joe, a shorter, tubbier and more badly dressed Jason Schwartzman than I've ever seen, I think. The question at top of mind, of course, is would Eugene be interested? He seems to spend equal time with attractive men and women.
You think he's queer? I've been spending time with him. I can't tell.
Well, could always just ask.
No.
Lee strikes up an acquaintance with Eugene and then more than a mere acquaintance. There seems to be mutual attraction, but the deeply insecure Lee is constantly on edge. Does Eugene feel the same way he does?
What else should I say?
I've got bigger fish to fry.
Bigger fish is right. Cold, slippery, hard to catch.
Lee and Eugene seem to hit it off, despite the fact that Lee, like Burroughs himself, has another failing he's been keeping under his hat a bit.
I presume Dumais told you about my proclivities.
Yes?
A curse.
Being both a junkie and queer is definitely bad news in 50s America, and it's the main reason that Lee found himself hiding out in Mexico. There's no sign that he achieved the cliched trifecta by also being a commie. Frankly, Lee seems far too selfish to have any interest in anyone but himself. And now, Eugene for a while.
What's she got to lose?
Independence.
I want to talk to you. Without speaking.
In the last act of Queer, the two take off in search of non-political inner enlightenment. After foregoing heroin for hallucinogens one night, Lee decides to find a famous specialist in plant-based insights, one Dr. Cotton.
Why don't you come with me?
The acting publicity for Queer has mostly gone to Daniel Craig's performance as a jaded, self-obsessed junkie. But the blue ribbon goes to an unrecognisable Leslie Manville as a fugitive Captain Trips. The former Princess Margaret and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris looks like she arm-wrestled Steve Buscemi for the role.
What are you so afraid of? Door's already open, can't close it now.
The film stands and falls on the lead character, of course, but after a while Lee's grinding selfishness, possibly reflecting that of his original author, outweighs the best intentions of director Guadagnino and star Craig. I did find myself occasionally shaken by Queer, but very rarely stirred.
All he can do is look away.
All in all is all we all are.
But why would you?
All is all we all are.